Awesome.
All right, let me just make sure it's set up on my end. Oh yeah, showing here. Make sure it's set up. Okay, now this looks crazy. Oh yeah, showing here. Okay, now this looks crazy. This is not what the matrix feels like. This is not what the matrix feels like. Is that on your phone?
Yep, I'm turning it down. I thought it was you. This is me.
Okay.
All right, I'm trying to share it, but all right, go ahead and start, Mary, and while
Are you gonna share it on the Facebook?
I'm trying. So
okay.
Go ahead and just start and
Okay. Now I can't find the Zoom. One moment, please.
I do apologize.
We're figuring this out. So this is what real life looks like.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you everyone that's joining and signing in, whether you're on Facebook or on the Zoom chat. My name is Mary. This is Haley. We have some people also on the Zoom, and I'm going to introduce ourselves. Did you want to introduce yourself first, or do you want me to go first?
Go right ahead, since you're already talking, and flow right into it.
All right. So my name is Mary, and I am a functional nutritional therapy practitioner. It's like a mouthful, but short for a certified nutritionist. And I used to live, I'm in St. Louis right now. I'm originally from New York, and we have 5 kids. We have 2 beautiful dogs. In my past life, I used to be a health education teacher for the Yonkers Public School District. So my background is in health education. So originally I went to school, I wanted to be a physical therapist, and I was on the nursing track and was doing all those classes, but learning certain classes kind of led me to the health field, because I kept asking myself, well, why are all of these health issues occurring, and how can I basically fix them? Which led me to health education. So I ended up changing my major to become a health education teacher. And from there, I started teaching in Yonkers in the middle school. That was very interesting and eye-opening. And then in order to maintain my license, I had to get my master's. So I chose Master's of Science in Education. Covers a lot of different sciences, but basically I was able to teach science. So that's where I got my master's in. And then after having my second child, I decided to stay home. Because that's where I felt I needed to be. So I went on childcare leave after teaching for 5 years. I learned a lot from teaching. I loved my students. I still love them. And I learned a whole bunch. And I learned a lot about health disease, all different types of diseases and ways to treat them. And basically what I pulled from that whole experience was getting to the root cause. So all of our habits, all of our eating habits, our lifestyle habits, these are all things that grow with us from before we're even born, through childhood up into adulthood. And so I was able to see children starting, to begin their health habits, and I was desperately trying to educate them and work with them. And I've learned that, working from the youngest age and up can make the largest impact. But as I stayed home, I decided I wanted to do something, and something I could do from home. So I was looking at different options, and I found the Nutritional Therapy Association. And it was a great program. I learned a whole lot of information. What else? Yeah, I feel like I could just ramble on, but basically my goal is to help empower my community to live healthier lives. One of the things we learned in the NTA is how to deal with the root cause of issues with health problems. And they all stem from our habits, whether it's eating, like I said before, lifestyle, all those things. Everything that's disease related is usually related to what we put into our body, what we put on our body, what's in our mind. Genetic does play a part of it. One of the doctors I was listening to recently said, genetic factors load the gun, but our lifestyle and everything around us will pull the trigger. So show you my shirt real quick. I don't know if you can see it. It says Take Back Your Health. I went to a conference this past weekend, and this is my goal. It's to help people to take back their health. We are the only ones that are going to take care of our bodies. We can't depend on anyone else. Yes, you can depend on those around you, but in the end, you are ultimately the one to take control of your health. So we're here to support you. We're here to be here on your journey as you are taking back your health, and we're here to guide you and to be guides and to love on you, to educate you, and to walk with you. So, Haley, are you ready?
Yes. Well said, Mary. Well said. And so I'm Haley with Nourish the Root Cause, and I'm based out of Southeast Michigan, the Metro Detroit area. And I work with clients both locally and virtually to help them discover the nutrition that best supports their body and lifestyle. I've been a functional nutritional therapy practitioner, as Mary said, that's a mouthful, since February 2020, and a licensed Restart instructor since March 2020. I specialize in liver gallbladder health and detoxification. I'm actually on a mission to help individuals keep their gallbladders and educate those without them. And the reason that is because of my own personal health journey. And what led me to the NTA was my battle with hives. I had chronic idiopathic urticaria, which is just chronic hives, since 2017 until 2020. And there was no reason that a doctor could determine as to why I had them. So because I was so tired of them telling me, you know what, you're not allergic to anything. I don't have any suggestions here. Take a cortisone shot, take some prescriptions, and they sent me on my way. And I knew that there had to be a better way. There had to be a reason why I was having hives. And it was through the NTA. Eventually I made it there. And it was through the NTA that I discovered that the root cause, or one of the root causes that was causing me to have the hives, was that I had my gallbladder removed in 2013. And it was just a domino effect. And I wasn't educated properly. I wasn't told that I needed bile salts after a gallbladder removal. And it really impacted my life. And so now using food as medicine has helped me be hive free since June 2020. And it's amazing. I really felt like it was something I was going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. So that's just a little bit about me. It's a little, just short and sweet. But I'm excited to be here. And like Mary, I'm here to support and empower and walk along your journey with you. So with that, I'm going to ask Mary, why did you become a Restart instructor?
So after graduating from Nutritional Therapy Association, I come from a background of teaching, and I just like having something to teach. And I kept hearing about Restart. So as I looked into it, I realized it was the basics of nutrition, pretty much everything we learned, but in a very condensed form. And I feel like that was so necessary. If I'm going to help anyone, most people don't learn these things in school or haven't learned them growing up. So just to cover the basis and help people give a foundational idea of what their health should look like, I felt like it was great. And the program is awesome. I did it myself. And so what's funny is that before I did Restart, I was dealing with like terrible elbow pain, like to the point where I do photography on the side, and I couldn't even lift my camera. Like just doing this motion over and over was just extremely painful. I was extremely bloated all the time. I had brain fog, like just ridiculous. So when I started teaching my first Restart class, I told them, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it with you so we can all like not suffer together, but kind of, I wanted to experience it also. And let me tell you, it's amazing. After we completed the 3 weeks, the elbow pain was totally gone. And it was not easy. Like cutting out sugar from your diet, it's not something that, it's not like a pill and you're gone. It's literally changing your mindset. It's changing your lifestyle. It is being countercultural because you are put in positions where, you have to decline certain foods, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But I knew why I was doing that. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to be more energetic for my children. I wanted to not have brain fog and better memory. So after I did it, the arm pain was gone. I would have probably ended up seeing an orthopedic specialist that would have probably recommended surgery because it was that painful. I mean, I went to chiropractors and it did provide some relief, but after a week, it would just go back to the pain levels, like literally aching, like all the way down to my hands. Like I went my husband, likes to take me to the shooting range, and just shooting a gun, like, would leave me in pain. Just all the pressure that comes back, like, would just, so these are, after that, like, I was able to not have pain in my life. So once I experienced that, I knew this is something that I really wanted to share with a lot of other people and have them experience it with me too. So that's a long answer to a short question.
No, but I think that helps people realize that, what we put in our body, what we choose to eat, the thoughts that we think do impact our everyday lives. And I'm telling you, when you remove bad oils from your diet, it makes a difference in your pain. So like a little tidbit for that information, but well, a little bit about the reason why I wanted to become a Restart instructor is I was looking for a program. Actually, I was creating a program after I graduated because I wanted something to help guide people along their way. And when I came across this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was looking for. It really sparks from my own experience why Restart is special to me. Let's just be honest, I had a sugar addiction and strong cravings to sugar and sugary drinks, processed junk food, etc. And so I know how hard it can be to let go of those things. In my previous life, I could be found walking around with a bottle of Coke and a Heath bar just because, right? It was accessible, it was cheap, and I liked sugar. So I relied on sugary drinks and snacks to get me through my day. Even when I started making healthier choices, I thought I was making healthier choices by purchasing branded healthy food, which wasn't actually healthy, right? Now I know. And this program is really set up with the tools and the support that guides the participant in making choices that support their health. It helps them focus on mindset and their lifestyle choices. And it really helps guide them by helping them focus on real food options, right? It educates them rather than telling them what to eat, and it empowers them to make better choices. And my favorite part is I enjoy participating in the detox with the participants, because we don't have to do this alone. And sometimes that in itself is difficult when we feel like we're alone. We feel like we're doing this by ourselves. We're the only one that we're at a family gathering saying that, hey, I don't want those mashed potatoes, or I don't want a piece of cherry pie, right? And it's okay. And it's like Mary said, it's okay to say no or pass on something, or even just learn to moderate a little differently when it comes to family gatherings or traditions, right? We don't want to remove everything if it's special to us, but learning how to incorporate it into our lives in a healthy way.
And I agree, like the sugar thing, that's something I grew up. I remember like my first memory of when I was like 3, I was literally sitting at a table eating out of the sugar, whatever you call it, by the spoonful, because I was dealing with sadness. That's how I was dealing with my emotions at that time. And I grew up, after school, getting donuts, eating 3 Musketeers with a whole glass of milk. Even now, like hiding a whole box of cookies in my cabinet when I'm like stressed, I'll just, binge eat. So these are all things that a lot of us deal with and struggle with. And a lot of us come to Restart or any program that supports one another because we're here doing group support. We all are like have experienced a lot of, just the past 2.5 years, I'm sure has sparked a lot of stressful habits that might not have led us in the right direction. So, we want to feel normal again. And like what we teach, like the yeasties and the beasties, like we'll get into that, but like there's things in our gut that make us crave sugar so that we can feed them. But I'll let you keep on.
No, absolutely. You make great points there. I want to kind of point out that you mentioned like, the cookies in the cabinet, and that's one thing is if you gravitate towards snacking, make better choices by purchasing better choices, right?
Yeah, replacing.
Because I have to do that. If not, I will eat all the cookies. And some of you may be wondering how Mary and I know each other outside of the NTA. We don't know each other.
Not yet. We will.
Both. I think she graduated in 2020 as well, but
2019, right before the whole thing.
She was the class before me then, it sounds like. And but we actually met because we both are course mentors for the NTA. So we walk alongside new students, aspiring holistic nutritionists. And we found out we both were Restart instructors, and we have that in common. And we found out we had more in common and decided that we wanted to do this together, because just like you guys, you don't want to walk along this program together. We were like, you know what, we want to support each other and see what it's like to do this together. So that's what bringing us both here today to talk about Restart. With that, you want to talk about some benefits of Restart?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just share my screen real quick just to.
And just for anyone watching, please type in any questions that you may have in the chat, and we will get to those, I promise.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye on the Facebook as well. So yeah, these are some common results that a lot of participants feel after completing the 5-week program. So I don't think we really shared. So Restart is, we probably should have shared this first.
I guess we probably should have led with that. Fine. Again, forgive us.
So it's a 5-week program. We meet once a week, around 60 to 90 minutes, depending on how many participants are that they're in a group. We don't take more than 10, just so that everyone gets a lot of attention and we all have time for questions and sharing. So in the 5 weeks, there's a 3-week sugar detox that's built in. And this is the common things that a lot of people experience after completing it. And I also have one of my participants on here, Jody, and she'll share in a little bit her experience. We just finished yesterday our 5 weeks. So increased energy, boosted immune system. Who needs that right now, right? More restful sleep, more clarity and focus, your clothes fitting better, decreased anxiety. We don't put weight loss on here because honestly, we're not focused on weight loss. We're not focused on calorie counting either, which is huge, because I feel like that can cause a lot of other issues, but we just focus on the plate. What should your plate look like? We're not focused on like how many calories is this and this and that. We just tell you what are the good foods, what your plate should look like, have really good vegetables and healthy carbs, a hand size of protein, and a good quality fat. And after the 5 weeks, a lot of people, if you follow through with it, you get out what you put in. This is what you will feel like. And I can tell you from my experience, this is what I'm experiencing right now. I'm on day 22 of my sugar detox and my energy is increased and I just feel a ton better. So
yeah. And with those benefits, as well as it, Mary touched on this about being a small group. We only take 10 participants per class so that you get to know each other and you can build friendships and relationships outside of it. And that's just additional support that you have. You know, if your family and friends that in your real life, let's call it, are not on this same path that you are, you can find individuals that are. You can find like-minded people that are there to support and encourage you, and they understand what you're going through in that moment because they're doing that as well. I love that aspect of it. That's why I like being a course mentor as well, is because I just love building this community of like-minded individuals that those friendships can last forever if you choose to, right? And then you get to know Mary and I a little bit more. We're pretty cool as well. So
yeah, we're right.
So also I'd like to mention that you also are given material during the course, during the 5 weeks, right? So you're going to get and Mary's going to show it, is you're going to get so there's some materials that you'll get. We'll email them to you because this is a virtual class. This is not in person. So everything will be delivered to you usually the week before. Isn't that lovely? Look, it's bright colors. It's just cheery, man. You look at that and you want
I feel like, oh my God, QVC.
Yeah, that's fine. She watches QVC on the side. Anyways, you also get a what is it called? The recipe book. Do you have that? Is that the recipe?
This is my personal one, so it's all dirty because when I'm in the kitchen cooking, I have this open. My daughter and I, we actually did it this past week. We did the last Restart program together, my 14-year-old, and so yeah. I'm teaching her. Yeah, you'll get the little stains on here.
She really does use it. So you'll get the cookbook when you enroll. It's not an additional fee. It's included in the price. And And what's nice about that is you can try different recipes and encourage the other participants or friends and family to give it a try. And there's a lot of for me, there's interaction of sharing more recipes that are not in the cookbook. And I like the mindset aspect of it. I work a lot with mindset with just my personal clients. And I love that this is incorporated into the program, right? Because we have to change our mind to make different choices. Because if we stay in the same mindset that we've always been in, we're always going to make the same choices. So that's incorporated in as well. And I really appreciate that aspect of in this program. So Mary also was talking about kind of what to expect. She was talking about a little bit. Would you like to tell them about what each week represents?
Yeah, should we go over the toxicity results first?
Sure. I mean, if you would like to.
I don't want to throw you off.
I mean, we're running the show. If that's what you want to do, that's fine.
I want to just share this quickly because I feel like this is really important before we go over like the topics.
So explain when they do the toxic scores, and then how we go ahead. How we
use it. Yeah. So basically the toxicity score results are a way of measuring your progress. So before we even start the program, we give you a form or survey. You fill it out. It takes like 4 minutes to complete, and then it gives you a number. So these are some examples of actual people's scores and results on here. I'm one of them. I'm not going to say which one, but one of them is mine on here. And you get a before number. And then as we reach the end of the program on the very last day on week 5, I give you the survey again, you take it again, and then you get a new number. And usually it will reflect a huge change because it's so easy to not realize the little things that are happening in our bodies as they change over time. And this is a great way to see it visually. So those of you that like numbers, those of you that like not anecdotal, but these are actual like scientific questions, like the toxicity score that we use, the survey is actually used by medical doctors. It's been used for a bunch of like different places. So, and on the bottom is like a little description. It identifies symptoms that help to reveal the underlying causes of illness and helps you to track your progress over time. So I love this because for me, I need to see numbers. I need to see like actual tangible things to help me understand what I'm going through. And I mean,
it helps highlight, you don't know how good you feel until you feel better, or how bad you felt before you felt better. I'm bad with analogies. So I think this is a great representation of that, right? Is you don't realize that, oh, wow, I'm not experiencing acid reflux anymore. I have more energy during my day. And so this is just another visual for you to have to see the progress that you're making.
Yeah. And if you would like to get a score, your own score without having to join, we can, you could just in the chat, let me know and I'll send you a link to get your own score. So actually, we're going to put a survey. That's not what we discussed. We're going to put a survey in the chat when we're in like the middle of this talk. And then you can let us know if you want your toxicity score to be taken. Okay. Sorry to throw you off. We'll go back to the weeks.
No worries. So would you like to talk about the weeks or would you like me to?
Yeah, I'll go over the first two. So every week is a time where we go over the education part because it's part education. So week 1, for example, we'll go over how to prepare for the detox. So it's all about preparing. We don't just throw you in. We have to mentally prepare you. We have to talk to you about what to expect, some of the symptoms you might experience through the detox process. As you change your diet, your body will start releasing things that might have been stored in there. As we burn fat, there's a lot of toxins that are stored in our fat and they will be released. So we just talk about how to support your body during this time so you feel great and not miserable. But there will be some things that you might feel. If you've ever done a detox before, you probably know what I'm talking about, but we want to make sure this experience is good for you and that you're supported throughout this whole experience.
And that's important. I think that's one thing that's different about this 5-week program is that of the support that you get to make sure that you're doing the detox safely and you're feeling your best, the best as you can. So.
Yep. And then every week ends with like a word, kind of a word to remind us on how to look at this process. It is like what Haley said, it's a mindset shift. So a lot of the words we use in our minds towards ourselves sometimes aren't very nice. So we kind of, just like we replace our food, we're going to be replacing our words and those negative thought processes in our mind that would limit, our ability to move forward with a program like this. In week 1, we also go over the foods that are part of the program and the foods that we want to just abstain from temporarily while we do the detox. So that way we are doing our best. Week 2, we teach you about digestion, what healthy digestion looks like. This is my favorite week because we get to talk about poop. And that's a common subject in our house. We have a lot of kids here and poop comes up often. And I just, I realize a lot of people like to talk about poop, but it's not like a common thing that's spoken about in public.
But it's so important to know. It's so important to know your poop.
Just to quickly show you, this is one of the pictures we use. And, we want to make sure we're here and pooping every single day. If you're like this or like this, we need to get you into the center area. Mm-hmm. And in order for you to detox properly, you do need to be pooping every day because that's how our body gets rid of toxins. So we want to support that. A lot of people don't realize that constipation is not normal. Mm-hmm. It's common, but not normal. And yeah.
So then that takes us into week 3, talking about sugar. And here we're going to learn about what excess sugar and refined carbs, how our body responds to it, and learn how to get off that roller coaster that's so easily to get onto, but it's like heck to get them to stop it so you can get off of it. So this is really important of understanding where some hidden sugars can be, right? What different names are or what have you. So week 3 is important of just the education piece on moving forward on how to make better choices. And then week 4, we talk about fat. And you may think fat makes you fat, but that is not true. And we want to unveil the truth about dietary fats and why healthy fats are essential to your diet. We're going to learn which ones to enjoy and which ones to avoid and why. This is very important. I think healthy, along with removing sugar, learning what healthy fats are and what oils are not healthy for us is so beneficial to our health. These 2 weeks are so important. All weeks are important because I think digestion is so important too. So I don't know why I wanted to say that, but it's just the education piece for this is amazing. And so then we go to week 5, and that's just to celebrate. That's just to celebrate you and your accomplishments and moving forward. And I like that week too because I like to celebrate.
It's exciting. It's a little sad too because I feel like we all got used to meeting once a week. And
yeah, absolutely. It can be, but we have that ongoing support. I always support my clients afterwards. And if they want to, I check in with people frequently. So you can't get rid of me very easily. So I hope that's not a bad thing to deter people.
We're kind of like stalkers, but stalkers that you want.
That's true. So, you said you were participating?
Yeah. Jody, are you there? Do you want to share your experience the past 5 weeks? We just ended yesterday.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, I was just listening. I'm doing my dishes. So
yeah. Hi, Jody.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I love that you're doing dishes and listening at the same time.
Yes. I was like, just let me know when you need me. I mean, do you just want me to, how long do you want me to talk? Because you know me, Mary, I can.
Well, tell us, like how you felt before starting Restart, why you joined, and then how you feeling now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like if anybody's never done something like this it's a grain-free, dairy-free, sugar-free diet, like it's really life-changing. I was really lucky that I kind of fell into something similar in my early 30s. And, I never was particularly unhealthy. I didn't think I was. I was an athlete in high school. I did traveling teams. But I did grow up at a time when, the food pyramid was a thing. My mom's a gym teacher. She was a health teacher. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We ate deer meat and always a vegetable at dinner. But, we didn't know at the time that it was like canned vegetables. And we all thought that grains were super healthy. So eating lots of bread and, 5 gallons of milk a week, not knowing that it was like, pasteurized, killing gut bacteria. Anyway, so I also have a science background. I actually was a research and development scientist working for pharmaceutical companies. So the health problems that I did experience, I didn't consider them health experiences or health problems because they're like just normal things that everybody had,
Yeah.
was constipated my whole life. I had those bumps on my arms, like crusty heels all the time, acne that my dermatologist told me to take antibiotics for. I was on antibiotics for like 20 years until I thought twice about it when I got pregnant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing, people didn't really talk about gut bacteria. It was just like, oh, you just luck of the draw, bad hormones. I asked her, like, does diet contribute to any of these? My mom said that when she was younger, if she ate chocolate, she would get, and it was like cystic, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh no, it's just luck of the draw. Nothing you can do about your hormones. And I was really lucky. I had done a bunch of moves. I just had a baby, and I was just really feeling, I think at the time I didn't realize how bad I was feeling, because until you feel good, you don't understand how bad you feel.
And
I did a diet.
Bad.
Right. So within 3 weeks, long story short, I was in this mom's group. We were doing this like health competition thing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. This is kind of similar to a paleo or a Whole30 diet, but it was like a paleo diet. I read this book, and I was like, whoa, what is going on? Because, I was just trying to lose a few pounds, not realizing how much brain fog I had until my brain was clear. You know what I'm saying? Or, and then, the bumps on my arms went away. I noticed that my skin was so much better. It was like, I stopped taking naps. I didn't realize how fatigued I was all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I didn't think I was eating that unhealthy, but like, once I totally got rid of everything, you're like, wow, I'm not at the mercy of these, like, I don't, I get hungry, but it's like, yeah, I could eat. I'm going to probably have to eat soon. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't eat. When are we eating? Or like crazy. So I knew, because of that, I knew what it felt like to feel good. And so lately, sorry, my kid, you take naps all the time. I know. What I was just about to say is that, now I'm in my early 40s, and I think it doesn't get any easier the older you get. But once you understand, like, holy crap, and you go down this rabbit hole of like, why I felt like that. And Mary was like doing this thing, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it because I already know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. But it's true. Like, it is hard in our society. You know what you need to do, but you fall into these traps. We're so busy with hockey and this and that. And then you start picking up things at the store, and before you know it, you're off track again. And you are, but like, I don't know, really setting aside the time to do this with the community. And I think for me, accountability is really important if I get this off track. And then it just, I'm so glad I finally did it, because I was like, no, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. Well, I wasn't doing it. And I'm like, fine, Mary, put me in, because if you schedule it, it like forces you to do it. And like, and even now I'm like, so happy. Like, I knew I'd be happy I did it, but I'm like, so happy. I'm like, God, why didn't I do this 6 months ago? Cause it's like, I don't have time. Well,
how did you feel like
more time now?
Like, what pushed you? I remember you telling me like during the pandemic, all the stress, you kind of like realized a lot of things had changed in your body, and then you were like, all right, Mary, just like,
well, I mean, I was having the brain fog, I was taking naps, I knew I was gaining weight, but it didn't really matter because I didn't have too much to do. I could always just take a nap, and and then it was like, well, nothing's going on, might as well just drink some wine at night by the fire because I can sleep in anyway, like, it didn't really matter. And then all of a sudden, and I tried to put jeans on, and I didn't realize I had gained like 30 or 40 pounds. And, I'm a mom. It's not like I'm trying to win swimsuit competitions, but like, also, like, me taking a nap every day, that's a big deal when you have 2 kids and a bunch of sports and homeschooling. Like, that's time that you need to do stuff and feel good. And it sucks to not feel good. And of course, everyone does want to like not have to go buy a whole new wardrobe either. You know what I mean? So
after the detox and everything, how are like, what changed, and like, how are you feeling now?
Oh, everything. My skin was getting, I sell skincare, Mary, but like my skin was getting flakier, and, it was just like, my skin is my first warning that like, okay, something's off. The energy is the big thing for me. Like, just feeling good. Like, I want to go work out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm getting things done. I'm not groggy. the brain fog, is clear. It's just, and then the cravings, it's like, I'm not at the mercy of like, oh, what am I going to eat? Oh, gotta make something. It's
huge.
like, I'm just not hungry anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm intermittent fasting just because I'm not hungry, So yeah, it's amazing. Like, I feel like I mean, yeah. And actually talking about, I have a friend who also lost her gallbladder, and I feel like, and also having kids, I think it's really important to like model, you know what I mean? So like when I'm cooking from scratch more every day, the whole family's eating healthier. You know what I mean? It's like,
they don't have a choice really.
right. Exactly. So when mom's healthy, everyone's healthy. So it's not selfish. It's something that's like necessary.
It's true.
If you're not good, the family ain't good, so
It benefits the whole family. That's a good point. So can I
really
ask you a
does.
question, Jody?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice or suggestions, or I don't know how to phrase that, but if someone was on the fence on participating in this 5-week program, what would you tell them?
I mean, I'd say just do it. I mean, it could change your life. Like,
Well, and she's not paid, people. I just want to let you know.
Yeah,
that.
No,
this is not a paid advertisement.
That's great. But I'm glad that you had this experience. You touched on brain fog, and I think that's one thing that people overlook. And they think it's.
I don't think you have it until it's gone. Honestly,
until you can blink. You're like, wow,
right?
What have I been doing this whole time? So that's amazing. Right. I'm happy to hear that. Congratulations on feeling, and your skin looks amazing, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Like, actually, I've been getting so many compliments the last week or two. They're like, what have you been doing? I'm like, well, just eating better. I'd love to tell you it's skincare, but honestly, it's 80% of my diet is diet.
Internal.
It's great with everyone.
And also the husband noticed the jeans fitting nicely too. So you get nice compliments from the hubby.
Well, I had to go buy new, bigger jeans, and even they were tight. So like, I mean, I was telling Mary, I mean, if we're talking about weight loss, I know that's not like, for me, I know it's not the major thing, like whatever. But like, it is, when you gain 30, 40 pounds over the course of 2 years, like it is a big deal because you're like, I don't want to buy new clothes. And, but yeah, they are fitting much, much better. I just feel better in my clothes. I feel better in my skin. I'm like looser, you know what I mean? Like of course that's a big deal too,
There's no better feeling than loose pants. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and what's crazy is like the first week I dropped 6 pounds. So I know it must have been like just inflammation. I mean, I know I did, and then over the course of the 3 weeks, I'm down about 10 pounds, just.
Yeah. That's huge. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Really, for a 5'5" person. Yes.
that really hits on the fact that I like to focus on is when you give the body the nutrients it needs, it starts to balance. And weight is just a side effect. So if you're balanced, the weight will come off because it's just a sign that you're out of balance. So that's great, because I don't like to focus on weight either, but it does.
It's a symptom. It's something that you look at, just like with a toxicity score. And Jody mentioned something important about inflammation. Something we go over in the class too is all disease stems from inflammation. So cancers, Alzheimer's, any metabolic disease stems from inflammation in your body. And if you have a family history of that, if you're dealing with that now, whether it's type 2 diabetes, everything I just mentioned, they all stem when we are inflamed. So like I use the analogy of your house on fire, like when when our body's inflamed, whether it's like a skin rash or when we're starting to like lose hair randomly, all these things, like my elbow pain that I had, these are all inflammation. And if we want to cut those down, you have to cut out the foods, not cut it out, but replace the foods that are causing inflammation and replace it with something that will feed your body the nutrients that it needs so that it can heal. And that's what we're here for, is to guide you, because it's overwhelming. Like before I did the NTA, I was like looking for answers. And I didn't mention this when I first introduced myself, but like my children were dealing with a bunch of health issues. I have like an autoimmune issue. My son, he was getting like febrile seizures whenever he would get sick. He would get periodic fever syndrome every 6 weeks. A fever would come like right on time. And I was just like sick of hearing, oh, you can't do anything about it. Here, take Tylenol, take Motrin. So I literally destroyed his gut by giving him Motrin, because that ruins your intestines. And we came to Missouri, and I was just desperate for an alternative. And we found another a certified nutritionist, and she helped guide me. She gave me the meal plans. And I saw a huge change in my child's poop, number one, his inflammation. He was the only kid in his class that year not to get the flu, which was like huge. His immune system was strong. He didn't have any febrile seizures anymore. Well, before that, we started using vitamin C and other stuff to treat illnesses. But all these things that I've learned in the past, I would say 14 years, a little bit slowly over time, you know, I'm now using to help others, just like Haley. So both of us, our combined amount of years together with our experiences, we want to help guide other people. And we work one-on-one with people. We work in the groups. I love working in groups too. As a previous teacher, this is like my passion. And, you know, yeah, so that's all that to say.
But Jody, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jody. I appreciate it.
And
yeah,
I,
of course.
yeah.
Thank you. No, I'm excited to be back on track. You know, it's like, I just think for me, I personally, I don't know if everybody's the same way, but like the accountability and just like, oh, I'm doing this because I paid for it and I have a phone call. You know what I mean? Just having it on the schedule is like, you know, other than just me doing it by myself and like, oh, who cares if I just eat this? And then all of a sudden, you know, it's like,
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jody.
Yeah.
So now after talking with Jody about her success, that's one of the questions we get. Like, what is the success rate in this program? And honestly, participants who commit to coming to every class session, during the sugar detox and applying the concepts learned in class, will get the most benefit out of it, of course, right? Because they're participating. And giving your body a chance to respond to real nutrient-dense food while taking a break from sugar for 3 weeks can be a powerful learning experience. I can talk, I swear. Many participants want to keep eating this way for life. Like, look how excited Jody was. I mean, she was literally glowing.
She's glowing.
And, yeah, right? So you want to continue on. So it really just provides the tools and the foundation that's needed for that initial push to get you where you need to get you started where you need to be, right? And we do know change is hard, and you are ultimately in charge of your level of participation. So the more you put into the class, the more you're going to get out of it. And that's engaging with your instructors, or I don't know, that's what we're called, or the other participants, but you're going to get what you put into it.
Yeah.
So
but also I want to like highlight, there's no pressure. Like some people just join just to learn. Some people don't even do the meal planning, which is totally fine. So there's no pressure to do everything because we're not here to be perfect. It's about progress. So some people take the class 3 times. The first time they'll just sit there and listen and learn. The second time they'll do a little bit. Maybe the third time they'll fully commit. But it's really where you're at. And that's why we're here, to meet you where you're at and what you're ready for. But if you're ready to go all the way, we're here for that. And if you just want to listen, that's fine too. But you know, there's no pressure.
No, that's what I was just going to say. It's if you're not ready to go all in on the sugar detox, that's fine. Just be there, listen, learn, get that valuable experience, gain a community of that people want to make better choices that supports their health. So we're not here to make you do anything you don't want to. We're just here to help provide information for you to make the best choices moving forward. So was there anything else that you wanted to cover before?
Yeah, there was actually 2 things. We didn't speak about like hormones and cramps and hormonal imbalances. One thing I also noticed that I just remembered right now as Jody was talking was, you know, I suffer from like heavy periods, anemia, all those things. And I did notice a change in my cycle for the better after doing the first detox and now as well. And I think, and other people that have joined my groups have mentioned the same thing. So if you are suffering from any type of reproductive system issue, whether it's like cyst or, you know, anything, again, everything stems from inflammation. So if you have inflammation in your body, whether it's endometriosis or whatever, we can't say this cures or treats, but this will put your body into balance and it will indirectly affect all those other issues that you might be having. So it doesn't hurt to try. This is not a drug or a pill. This is not one of those commercials, everyone's smiling and laughing like, oh, side effects include death and diarrhea and all those things, you know, like it's a life change and it's great. And the other thing I did want to mention was learning all these new recipes. Not everyone comes from a cooking background. So this might be the first time you roast a chicken. This might be the first time you roast green beans, and that's great and it's wonderful and it's a great learning experience. And it also will help you when you go to those family gatherings. You will be the one to bring a restart meal and have everyone try it and be like, wow, this is actually not that bad. Like, it doesn't taste like cardboard. And you might inspire others in your family to make these changes that they've been wanting to make, but have been afraid to do it out of fear of looking different. So, you know, I guess I've always had like the rebellious personality where I don't mind looking different, and that's fine. But I want to help you kind of harness that, you know, in yourself. If, you know, you need a little help with that, that's what we're here for, is to be that one to bring the healthy meal and not feel shameful or guilty or, you know, scared about it. It's about being proud about it and enjoying it. And people will see the change in you and will want to go in that direction. So we're trying to, like, I don't want to get all deep, but, you know, I feel like there's a shift happening after the COVID epidemic. Our health issues were highlighted. They were brought up. If you had any comorbidities, you knew you might have a harder chance with dealing with this virus and any other virus. So, you know, we've realized our health plays such an important role, and a lot of the pills that are thrown down our throats are not going to solve things. We have to do it from the root cause, which is nutrition.
Yep. Well said, Mary.
Thank you.
All right, so let's because we don't want to keep these lovely folks too much longer. So let's talk about dates and times available, and I don't have them in front of me.
Did I share our contact, or do you want to? I can share the.
We will. Let's talk about dates and times, and then we'll get to our contact.
Keeping me on track.
That's what I'm here for. We're here to support one another.
Yes. Yeah. I can share the form that we have. It's in the chat.
Could you do that?
Yes. Let me just. Okay. Yeah, so in the chat, I put a link to this form, and if you're not in the Zoom call, I'll put it in the comment section once we sign off. So here's what it looks like. These are the dates. You want to talk about that?
So I can since I can see it now. So we're offering 3 dates. I think I don't know. I thought we were just doing 3 dates and 3 times. So we're doing Tuesdays. Thank you. Tuesdays starting May 10th at 7 p.m. Central Time, which would be 8 p.m. Eastern. And then May 13th or Friday, May 13th, which is a Friday, at 10. Is it 10? Yeah.
10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. So that would start on the 13th. This will go through Memorial Day weekend, so that will impact that weekend, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's techniques to learn how to make better choices. So what better way to go into a holiday weekend with support, right?
Yeah.
With support and the tools that you need to make good choices during
the recipes are yummy. You can make bacon wrapped asparagus and everybody will eat it. So there's a bunch of stuff.
We got you.
Yeah.
We'll share some information or some recipes, but
really good Memorial Day recipes.
Yeah, and then Saturday mornings, starting May 14th at 10 a.m. Again, this is going to go through Memorial Day weekend, and we're just highlighting that just because, just so that you know going into it that it does fall over a holiday weekend. All right. So Mary said she put that in the chat. So if you're interested, please fill it out. Even if you want more information, that way we can get you the information that you need.
Yeah, and the cost.
All right.
Everyone's like, hello.
Yeah. So you want to know how much this costs to participate in, and that's a good question. So for the 5-week program, it is $225. That is our going rate at the moment. And but for sitting through this live with us all the way to the end, if you register by midnight this Sunday, we're gonna it'll be $175.
Yeah.
So
it's a great deal.
Great deal. Because there's nothing more valuable than our health, and if we don't invest in our health, it's going to it just impacts every aspect of our lives. So it's there. So $225 is our normal price, but if you if you register by Sunday at midnight, it'll be $175. And we'll get that information to you if you reach out to us. And then Mary, do you want to share our contact information? Mary she can be found at on Instagram and Facebook on I Deserve Health. So her handle's right there, and I'm Nourish the Root Cause, and I can be found on Instagram with the same name. So Nourish the Root Cause.
And our website too.
Yep.
That's a good way to reach us. IDeserveHealth.com and NourishTheRootCause.com. And something I just wanted to add about that, a lot of people are like, oh, is this covered by insurance? Or not this particularly, but just things in general. So what I always say to that are like, oh, that food's so expensive to buy. And I always ask after that, well, how expensive is it to have health disease? Like, how much are you spending on, whether you have cancer or anything? Like, think about how much amount of money goes into any of those health diseases that we are dealing with. So what we're doing now, I look at it as an investment in your health now, as prevention. When you put money into your prevention, you will pay less in the long-term run for any health disease that you might have developed had you not done this. So I'm all about prevention, not only monetarily, but also your energy, your time, suffering. I feel like a lot of diseases causes suffering. You can't work, you can't focus, you just, so just think about all the things that you want to feel like, what do you want to get out of this? How do you want to feel? Think about your goals. We can help you get there, and we want to help you get there. That's our passion, so yeah. Oh, you're muted. I'm not sure.
I keep muting myself. It's not me. It's what I'm doing to myself here. So I just wanted to follow that with this. I completely agree with what Mary just said, and know that if you reach out to either one of us, we'll be able to help you. So look at both of our websites if you're interested. Reach out to whomever. We will communicate with one another. And if you have specific questions, please reach out. But I really appreciate everyone who took the time to sit in on this. Jody, thank you for the testimonial. It was great. Keep glowing. Sarah and Jenny, I'm so happy that you guys both attended. Were
there any questions?
Yeah. So is there any questions that anyone has right now before we log off? Because I'm sure if you have a question, others have questions.
I'm okay. You were very informative. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, for attending. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
Hey, real quick. Can you send me a link to this? Because I want to share it with someone. Did you record this?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. So if you go to my page or
so
it'll be on there.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
I'll tag you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. Mary, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think this was great for our very first live. I feel like this is what we need to do more often. So
yeah. And also I think the survey, if you want to join one of these classes, go straight to the survey and we'll have your name, your email, and then you can pick the date that works best for you. And then we'll send you out a toxicity. If you want to just do the toxicity score just to see what yours is, I can send that to you. If you want to take the class, fill out the survey, and that will be the best way to get signed in. And we'll send you all the registration info once we know the date that you want. And if you want to be put on a wait list for on a future class, because one of these dates don't work for you, just put that in the comment section of the survey as well. And we'll notify you as soon as we have any dates open after June, because this goes until June. So we're really excited. We really want to work with you. If you're ready, we're here whenever you're ready. And that's what we do.
Yep. We're here to support you. All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to end it now.